What if I told you that everything you think you know about building muscle is only half the story? While millions of people obsess over perfect workout routines, expensive supplements, and precise macro counting, they're completely ignoring the most powerful muscle-building window of their entire day. It's not happening in the gym during those grueling sets, and it's not occurring during your post-workout protein shake. The real magic happens when your head hits the pillow. Every single night, your body has the opportunity to undergo a complete transformation. For approximately 7 to 9 hours, your system shifts into the most anabolic state it will experience in a 24-hour cycle. Growth hormone surges to levels 10 times higher than during the day. Your muscles repair damaged fibers and build new ones. Your nervous system resets. Your metabolism optimizes. Your brain detoxifies. This is when your body literally rebuilds itself from the inside out. But here's the devastating truth that no one talks about. Most people unknowingly sabotage this entire process with a single habit that seems completely harmless. This habit is so common, so socially accepted, and so deeply ingrained in our culture that questioning it feels almost ridiculous. Yet this one seemingly innocent choice can completely shut down your body's ability to grow muscle, recover from workouts, and wake up feeling restored. The habit? It's what and when you eat in the final hours before sleep. And if you're over 30, when your natural production of growth hormone and testosterone is already declining, this mistake becomes exponentially more costly. Every night you get this wrong is a night of lost gains, impaired recovery, and missed opportunities for your body to become stronger, leaner, and more resilient. This isn't about shaming late-night snacking or promoting extreme restrictions. This is about understanding the profound biological processes that govern muscle growth, hormone production, and recovery, and learning how to work with your body's natural rhythms instead of against them. The research is overwhelming, the mechanisms are clear, and the solutions are surprisingly simple once you understand what's really happening inside your body after dark. Your body's hidden clock system and why timing trumps everything. Most people think of their body as a simple machine that runs on calories in, calories out. Eat food, burn energy, build muscle, repeat. But this perspective misses one of the most fundamental aspects of human physiology. Your body isn't just a machine, it's a precisely timed machine. Every single cell in your body, from your muscle fibers to your brain cells, operates on a sophisticated 24-hour rhythm that determines when different biological processes should occur. At the center of this timing system sits a master clock in your brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, located just above the roof of your mouth in the hypothalamus. This cluster of about 20,000 neurons acts like a conductor for an orchestra, coordinating the timing of hormone release, body temperature fluctuations, cellular repair processes, and countless other functions throughout your body. But here's what makes this system truly fascinating. This master clock doesn't work alone. You also have what scientists call peripheral clocks scattered throughout your body, in your muscles, liver, fat tissue, pancreas, and virtually every other organ. These peripheral clocks are designed to synchronize with the master clock, creating a harmonious rhythm that optimizes your physiology for different times of day. During daylight hours, your body primes itself for activity, alertness, and energy expenditure. As darkness falls, it shifts gears toward repair, recovery, and restoration. The problem arises when we disrupt this delicate synchronization, and one of the most powerful disruptors is mistimed eating. When you consume food, especially high-calorie, high-fat, or sugary foods late at night, you're essentially sending a signal to your peripheral clocks that it's still daytime. Your liver clock, pancreas clock, and muscle clocks receive the message that they should remain active and alert, even as your brain's master clock is trying to initiate the transition to sleep and recovery mode. This creates what researchers call circadian misalignment, a state where different parts of your body are operating on different schedules. A groundbreaking 2017 study published in Current Biology demonstrated just how disruptive this misalignment can be. Researchers found that when people ate large meals late at night, their internal organ clocks fell completely out of sync with their brain's master clock. The result was increased cortisol production, elevated blood sugar levels, impaired metabolic function, and most importantly for our discussion, severely disrupted sleep architecture. Sleep architecture refers to the structure and progression of your sleep throughout the night. Normal, healthy sleep follows a predictable pattern of light sleep, deep sleep, and REM sleep, cycling through these stages multiple times. Deep sleep, also known as slow-wave sleep, is when the majority of muscle repair and growth hormone release occurs. When your circadian clocks are misaligned due to late-night eating, you spend significantly less time in this crucial deep sleep stage, even if you're technically sleeping for the same number of hours. Think about the last time you ate a heavy meal or sugary snack close to bedtime. You might have fallen asleep easily enough, but how did you feel in the morning? Many people report feeling groggy, unrested, or even slightly inflamed after nights when they've eaten late, even if they slept for their usual 7-8 hours. This isn't coincidence. It's your body telling you that the recovery process was interrupted. The impact becomes even more pronounced as we age. After age 30, the amplitude of our natural circadian rhythms begins to weaken. The biological signals that distinguish day from night become softer and less pronounced, making our internal timing system more vulnerable to disruption. When you add mistimed eating to an already weakened circadian system, you're compounding the problem and making it even harder for your body to achieve the deep, restorative sleep that supports muscle growth, hormone production, and cognitive performance. The solution isn't complicated, but it does require a shift in thinking. Instead of focusing solely on what you eat, you need to pay equal attention to when you eat. Your final meal of the day should be timed to support, not disrupt, your body's natural transition into recovery mode. This means allowing adequate time between your last significant food intake and your intended sleep time, giving your digestive system time to complete its work and your insulin levels time to normalize before your body attempts to enter its most anabolic state. The sugar and fat trap that's stealing your gains. Understanding the importance of meal timing is just the beginning. Equally crucial is understanding how specific types of food can hijack your body's recovery processes, even when eaten at seemingly appropriate times. The modern diet is filled with foods that taste comforting and satisfying in the moment, but create biological chaos when consumed in the hours before sleep. Let's start with sugar and high glycemic carbohydrates, foods that cause rapid spikes in blood glucose levels. When you consume sugary snacks, refined grains, or even large amounts of fruit before bed, you trigger a cascade of hormonal responses that are fundamentally incompatible with quality sleep and muscle recovery. Here's exactly what happens in your body when you eat high glycemic foods within 1 to 2 hours of sleep. First, your blood sugar levels spike rapidly, often reaching levels 2 to 3 times higher than normal. In response, your pancreas releases a large amount of insulin to bring these glucose levels back down. This insulin surge is necessary to prevent dangerous blood sugar elevations, but it creates several problems for sleep and recovery. Insulin is an alerting hormone that increases heart rate, raises body temperature, and keeps your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight response, more activated than it should be during the transition to sleep. But the problems don't end there. What goes up must come down, and blood sugar levels that spike rapidly also tend to crash rapidly. This typically occurs 2-4 hours after eating, often right in the middle of what should be your deepest sleep period. When your blood glucose drops significantly, your body perceives this as a potential threat and releases cortisol, your primary stress hormone, to help stabilize blood sugar levels. Cortisol is essentially nature's alarm clock, designed to wake you up and make you alert. When it surges in the middle of the night, it pulls you out of deep sleep and into lighter, less restorative sleep stages. A fascinating study published in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine put this to the test using a randomized crossover design, the gold standard for nutrition research. Participants ate either high glycemic or low glycemic meals before bed on different nights, and researchers monitored their sleep quality using advanced brainwave monitoring. The results were striking. On nights when participants ate high glycemic foods, they experienced significantly more frequent awakenings, spent less time in slow-wave deep sleep, and reported feeling less rested the next morning, even when total sleep time was identical. Now let's add dietary fat to the equation, particularly saturated fat from sources like cheese, butter, cream, and fatty meats. While fat doesn't spike blood sugar like carbohydrates do, it creates its own set of problems when consumed before sleep. Fat is the most complex macronutrient to digest, requiring significant energy and time for your digestive system to process. When you eat high-fat foods close to bedtime, your digestive organs remain active and metabolically demanding throughout the night, competing with sleep and recovery processes for your body's energy and attention. A comprehensive study from Columbia University's Sleep Medicine Center examined the relationship between dietary fat intake and sleep quality over several weeks. The researchers found that participants who consumed diets high in saturated fat, particularly when eaten later in the day, experienced measurably less slow-wave sleep and more frequent sleep disruptions throughout the night. The mechanism appears to be related to increased core body temperature and sustained activation of the sympathetic nervous system, both of which signal to the brain that it's not safe to fully relax into deep sleep. The combination of sugar and fat, think ice cream, cookies, pizza, or fast food, is particularly devastating for sleep quality and overnight recovery. This combination slows digestion even further, creates more dramatic blood sugar fluctuations, and keeps multiple organ systems active when they should be winding down. Your liver works overtime to process the nutrients, your pancreas continues producing insulin, your digestive tract remains active, and your cardiovascular system stays elevated to support these processes. But here's what makes this information truly empowering. Once you understand these mechanisms, you gain the ability to make choices that support rather than sabotage your recovery. You don't need to eliminate these foods entirely, but you do need to be strategic about when you consume them. A simple rule that can transform your sleep quality and muscle building potential is this: avoid high sugar and high fat foods for at least 3 hours before your intended bedtime. This doesn't mean going to bed hungry or restricting yourself during the day. It means being intentional about your evening nutrition choices and understanding that the foods that might comfort you psychologically can actually increase stress on your body physiologically. When you align your eating patterns with your body's natural rhythms, you create the optimal internal environment for growth hormone release, muscle protein synthesis, and deep restorative sleep. The insulin versus growth hormone battle that determines your muscle growth. Perhaps the most critical but misunderstood aspect of nighttime nutrition is the metabolic relationship between insulin and growth hormone, two of the most powerful hormones in your body that have completely opposite functions and cannot operate optimally at the same time. Understanding this relationship is absolutely essential for anyone serious about building or maintaining muscle mass, especially as we age and our natural hormone production begins to decline. Every night, approximately 60 to 90 minutes after you fall asleep, something remarkable happens in your brain. Assuming you achieve deep, uninterrupted sleep, your hypothalamus triggers the largest pulse of growth hormone you'll experience in any 24-hour period. This nocturnal growth hormone surge typically occurs during slow-wave sleep and serves several vital biological functions that directly impact your physical appearance, performance, and longevity. Growth hormone stimulates muscle protein synthesis, essentially telling your muscle fibers to repair damage from the day's activities and build new, stronger tissue. It mobilizes fat stores for energy, helping your body burn stored fat while preserving lean muscle mass. It promotes the regeneration of virtually every tissue in your body, from skin and hair to bones and connective tissue. It supports immune system function and helps regulate metabolism. In many ways, growth hormone is your body's most powerful anti-aging and muscle-building tool, working tirelessly while you sleep to keep you strong, lean, and resilient. But here's the critical issue. Insulin, the hormone released whenever you eat carbohydrates or protein, directly and powerfully inhibits growth hormone release. This isn't a minor interaction, it's a complete suppression. Research published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism has shown that elevated insulin levels can reduce growth hormone secretion by up to 80%, essentially shutting down your body's most important overnight recovery process. Think of insulin and growth hormone as operating in fundamentally different metabolic states. Insulin says, "We have plenty of nutrients available, it's time to store and build." Growth hormone says, "We're in a fasted state, it's time to repair and regenerate using our internal resources." When both hormones are present simultaneously, you get metabolic confusion rather than optimal function in either direction. This is why the timing of your last meal is so crucial. When you eat a significant amount of food, whether it's carbohydrates, protein, or both, within 2 to 3 hours of sleep, you raise insulin levels during the exact window when growth hormone should be peaking. Instead of experiencing the natural fasted state that allows growth hormone to surge and do its repair work, your body remains in a fed state, prioritizing nutrient storage over tissue regeneration. The practical implications of this are profound. Have you ever noticed that after eating a large or late dinner, you wake up feeling puffy, less defined, or sore for longer after workouts? This is likely the result of suppressed growth hormone action. Without adequate growth hormone during sleep, muscle repair slows down, fat mobilization decreases, and recovery from exercise is significantly impaired. But this doesn't mean you need to go to bed hungry or avoid post-workout nutrition entirely. The key is understanding how to work with your body's natural rhythms rather than against them. The most effective approach is to allow for a 2.53-hour buffer between your last significant meal and your bedtime. This gives your insulin levels time to return to baseline, creating the fasted state necessary for optimal growth hormone release. If you do need to eat later in the evening, perhaps due to a late workout or an unusually long day, your food choices become critical. The goal is to provide your body with nutrients that support muscle maintenance without significantly elevating insulin or disrupting sleep. This is where slow-digesting, low-insulin impact proteins become invaluable. Casein protein, found naturally in dairy products like cottage cheese or available as a supplement, is particularly effective for this purpose. Unlike whey protein, which is absorbed rapidly and can cause a significant insulin response, casein forms a gel-like substance in your stomach and releases amino acids slowly over 6 to 8 hours. This provides your muscles with a steady supply of building blocks throughout the night without causing large fluctuations in blood sugar or insulin levels. Research has consistently shown the benefits of this approach. A study published in Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise found that athletes who consumed 40 grams of casein protein 30 minutes before bed experienced significantly greater increases in muscle mass and strength compared to those who didn't consume any pre-sleep protein. The key was that casein provided muscle-building amino acids while having minimal impact on insulin levels, allowing growth hormone to function normally. The takeaway here is that successful muscle building isn't just about what happens in the gym or even what you eat during the day. It's about creating the optimal hormonal environment for recovery and growth during sleep. When you time your nutrition to support rather than suppress growth hormone release, you transform every night into an opportunity for your body to become stronger, leaner, and more resilient. Smart nighttime nutrition: what to eat when you must eat late. The reality of modern life means that sometimes you will need to eat something before bed. Maybe you work late shifts, train in the evening, or simply sleep better with a small amount of food in your system. The goal isn't to create rigid rules that don't fit your lifestyle, but rather to understand how to make the best possible choices when you do need to consume something close to bedtime. The key is selecting foods that provide genuine benefits for muscle maintenance and sleep quality while minimizing the disruptions we've discussed in previous chapters. The ideal nighttime fuel should have 3 specific characteristics. It should have a low insulin impact to avoid suppressing growth hormone. It should provide slow-digesting protein to supply amino acids throughout the night. And it should contain compounds that actually support sleep quality rather than hindering it. Casein protein stands out as perhaps the most research-backed option for pre-sleep nutrition. This slow-digesting dairy protein has been extensively studied and consistently shown to enhance overnight muscle protein synthesis without significantly disrupting sleep or hormone production. What makes casein unique is its ability to form a gel-like mass in your stomach, releasing amino acids steadily over 6 to 8 hours, rather than flooding your system all at once like faster proteins. Multiple randomized controlled trials have demonstrated casein's effectiveness for nighttime use. In one particularly compelling study, resistance-trained men who consumed 40 grams of casein before bed for 12 weeks gained significantly more muscle mass and strength compared to a placebo group, despite identical training programs. The casein group also showed improved recovery markers and reported better sleep quality, suggesting that the protein supported rather than hindered their overnight recovery processes. If you prefer whole food sources, cottage cheese is naturally rich in casein and provides additional benefits for sleep. It contains tryptophan, an amino acid precursor to serotonin, which later converts to melatonin in your brain. This makes cottage cheese doubly effective. It provides slow-releasing protein for muscle maintenance while supporting your body's natural sleep hormone production. A small serving of cottage cheese with a sprinkle of cinnamon or a few berries can satisfy late-night hunger while actively promoting better sleep. Collagen protein or bone broth powder represents another excellent option, particularly if you're focused on joint health and recovery. Collagen is naturally low in the specific amino acids that trigger insulin release, meaning it has an even more minimal impact on blood sugar and hormone levels than casein. Additionally, collagen is rich in glycine, an amino acid that has been shown in research to improve sleep quality by helping to lower core body temperature and calm the nervous system. A study published in Sleep and Biological Rhythms found that participants who consumed just 3 grams of glycine before bed fell asleep faster, experienced deeper sleep, and reported feeling less fatigued the next day. Glycine acts as a mild inhibitory neurotransmitter, essentially helping to quiet brain activity and promote the transition into deeper sleep stages. For those who crave carbohydrates in the evening, small amounts of specific low glycemic options can actually be beneficial when paired with protein and timed appropriately. Tart cherries, kiwi fruit, or a small serving of oats consumed 2 to 3 hours before bed can support sleep by providing natural compounds that assist in melatonin production. The key is keeping portions small and always pairing these carbohydrates with protein to moderate their impact on blood sugar. Tart cherries deserve special mention as they're one of the few natural sources of melatonin. Research has shown that drinking tart cherry juice or eating fresh tart cherries can increase melatonin levels and improve both sleep duration and quality. However, timing is crucial. These should be consumed 2 to 3 hours before bed to allow for proper digestion and to avoid blood sugar spikes close to sleep time. Here's a practical framework you can implement immediately. If you need to eat within 3 hours of bedtime, limit yourself to 20 to 30 grams of slow-digesting protein. This could be a small serving of cottage cheese, a casein protein shake, or a cup of bone broth. If you're genuinely hungry and need more substance, you can add a small amount of healthy fat like a teaspoon of almond butter or a few nuts, but avoid large amounts of fat that could slow digestion and raise body temperature. What you absolutely want to avoid in the evening are refined sugars, large amounts of any carbohydrates, alcohol, and heavy fats. These foods create the exact opposite of what your body needs for optimal recovery. They spike insulin, disrupt sleep architecture, suppress growth hormone, and keep your digestive system working overtime when it should be resting. Remember, the goal of nighttime nutrition isn't to maximize muscle protein synthesis. That's what your post-workout meals are for. The goal is to provide gentle support for overnight muscle maintenance while optimizing the hormonal and neurological conditions necessary for deep restorative sleep. When you get this balance right, you wake up feeling genuinely refreshed and ready to tackle another day of training and growth. Hidden sleep saboteurs. Why caffeine, alcohol, and healthy treats are destroying your recovery. Even if you've mastered the art of strategic late-night eating, there's another category of sleep and recovery disruptors that often flies under the radar. Beverages, and seemingly healthy treats that contain hidden stimulants or compounds that interfere with your body's natural sleep processes. These substances can completely undermine your recovery efforts even when consumed much earlier in the day than you might expect. Let's start with caffeine, the world's most widely consumed psychoactive substance. Most people understand that drinking coffee before bed will keep them awake, but the research on caffeine's impact on sleep reveals effects that are far more subtle and long-lasting than most people realize. Caffeine doesn't just prevent you from falling asleep. It fundamentally alters the architecture of your sleep throughout the entire night, even when consumed many hours before bedtime. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine receptors in your brain. Adenosine is a neurotransmitter that builds up in your brain throughout the day, creating what scientists call sleep pressure, the increasing drive to sleep as the day progresses. When caffeine occupies these adenosine receptors, it prevents you from feeling sleepy and maintains alertness artificially. But here's the crucial point. Caffeine has a half-life of 5 to 7 hours in most adults, meaning that 6 hours after drinking coffee, half of the caffeine is still circulating in your system. Groundbreaking research from Stanford University and Harvard Medical School has shown that caffeine consumed even 6 hours before bedtime can reduce total sleep time by more than an hour and significantly decrease slow-wave sleep, the very stage where growth hormone surges and muscle repair occurs. Participants in these studies often reported feeling like they slept normally, but objective brainwave monitoring revealed dramatically impaired sleep quality. The practical implication is that if you go to bed at 10 p.m., your last cup of coffee should ideally be consumed no later than 12 noon. Not 2 p.m., not 4 p.m., but noon. This allows adequate time for caffeine levels to drop low enough that they won't interfere with your body's natural sleep initiation processes or the depth of your sleep throughout the night. Alcohol presents an even more complex challenge because many people mistakenly believe it helps them sleep. While alcohol can indeed make you feel drowsy and may help you fall asleep faster initially, it wreaks havoc on your sleep quality and recovery processes throughout the night. Alcohol is metabolized by your liver into acetaldehyde, a toxic compound that your body must work to eliminate. This metabolic process creates several problems for sleep and muscle recovery. First, alcohol significantly reduces REM sleep, which is crucial for emotional processing, memory consolidation, and brain recovery. Second, it fragments deep sleep, pulling you into lighter, less restorative sleep stages throughout the night. Third, it increases core body temperature, which is the opposite of what your brain needs to maintain deep sleep. Fourth, and perhaps most relevant to muscle growth, alcohol dramatically suppresses growth hormone release. A study published in Alcoholism, Clinical and Experimental Research found that even moderate alcohol consumption, just 1 to 2 drinks, reduced nighttime growth hormone secretion by nearly 70% and disrupted sleep architecture for up to 5 hours after consumption. Think about that. A single glass of wine with dinner can eliminate almost 3/4 of your body's most important muscle building and recovery hormone for the majority of the night. But the hidden saboteurs don't stop there. Dark chocolate, despite its reputation as a health food rich in antioxidants and magnesium, contains both caffeine and theobromine, a stimulant compound similar to caffeine, but with an even longer half-life. Just 1 ounce of 85% dark chocolate contains the equivalent of 20-25 milligrams of stimulating compounds, which might not seem like much, but can be enough to delay sleep onset or reduce deep sleep quality in sensitive individuals. Green tea, yerba mate, and even some protein powders and pre-sleep supplements contain hidden sources of caffeine or other thermogenic compounds that increase heart rate and alertness. Many people consume these thinking they're making healthy choices, not realizing they're actively working against their sleep and recovery goals. Even some seemingly innocent herbal teas can be problematic if they contain stimulating herbs like ginseng, rhodiola, or green tea extract. Always read labels carefully and opt for truly calming options like chamomile, passion flower, or rooibos tea in the evening hours. The solution isn't to eliminate all of these substances entirely, but to understand their effects and time their consumption appropriately. For caffeine, establish a hard cutoff time, ideally by noon, but no later than 2 p.m. if you're less sensitive. For alcohol, if you choose to drink, stop at least 3 to 4 hours before bedtime and hydrate aggressively to support your liver's detoxification processes. For chocolate and other hidden caffeine sources, treat them like you would coffee and avoid them in the second half of the day. Here's the empowering truth. When you eliminate these hidden sleep disruptors, the improvement in your sleep quality and recovery can be dramatic and almost immediate. Many people report falling asleep faster, staying asleep more consistently, and waking up feeling genuinely refreshed for the first time in years, simply by being more strategic about when they consume these common substances. Your evening choices create a cascade of effects that influence your entire next day. When you choose to support your body's natural recovery processes rather than fight against them, you create the foundation for better workouts, improved body composition, enhanced cognitive performance, and greater overall vitality. The temperature secret that supercharges overnight muscle growth. While most people focus exclusively on nutrition when thinking about overnight recovery, one of the most powerful and underutilized tools for optimizing sleep quality and muscle growth is something much simpler: body temperature regulation. Your body's thermal patterns play a gatekeeping role in determining whether you achieve deep anabolic sleep or spend the night in lighter, less restorative stages. Understanding and manipulating these temperature patterns can dramatically enhance your recovery without changing anything about your diet or training. The relationship between body temperature and sleep is both fascinating and counterintuitive. To enter the deepest stages of sleep, where muscle repair and growth hormone release peak, your core body temperature must drop by 1-2 degrees Fahrenheit. This temperature drop isn't just a side effect of sleep. It's actually a necessary trigger that signals your brain to transition from lighter sleep stages into the deep, slow-wave sleep where the majority of physical recovery occurs. This process is orchestrated by your suprachiasmatic nucleus, the master clock in your brain that we discussed earlier. As evening approaches, this brain region begins coordinating a complex series of physiological changes designed to prepare your body for sleep and recovery. Your brain starts producing melatonin, your blood pressure drops slightly, your heart rate decreases, and most importantly for our discussion, your body begins actively trying to cool itself down. The cooling process happens primarily through vasodilation, the widening of blood vessels near your skin surface, particularly in your hands and feet. This allows your body to release heat more efficiently, dropping your core temperature and signaling to your brain that it's time for deeper sleep. Research from the University of Pittsburgh and Harvard Medical School has shown that this temperature drop is not just helpful, but absolutely essential for accessing slow-wave sleep. When the cooling process is blocked or impaired, deep sleep can be reduced by 40–50%, even if total sleep time remains the same. Here's where many people unknowingly sabotage their own recovery. Anything that prevents this natural cooling process will impair sleep quality and reduce the time spent in muscle-building sleep stages. This includes sleeping in a room that's too warm, eating large meals close to bedtime, which raises core temperature through digestion, consuming alcohol, which disrupts temperature regulation, or engaging in intense exercise too close to sleep time. The solution involves implementing several evidence-based strategies to optimize your body's natural cooling process. First, your sleep environment should be cool, ideally between 60–67 degrees Fahrenheit. This might feel uncomfortably cool when you're awake and active, but it's optimal for triggering and maintaining the temperature drop necessary for deep sleep. Many people keep their bedrooms too warm out of concern for comfort, not realizing they're actively working against their body's recovery processes. Second, taking a hot shower or bath 1–2 hours before bed can actually accelerate your body's cooling process through a mechanism that seems counterintuitive. When you immerse yourself in hot water, your blood vessels dilate to help release the excess heat. After you step out of the hot water, this enhanced blood flow to your skin surface allows you to release heat much more rapidly than normal, creating a pronounced drop in core temperature that mimics and amplifies your body's natural cooling pattern. Research has shown that this hot bath protocol can increase slow-wave sleep and reduce the time it takes to fall asleep by up to 36%. The key is timing. Taking the bath too close to bedtime can leave you overheated, while taking it too early won't provide the cooling benefit when you actually try to sleep. The sweet spot appears to be 1-2 hours before your intended sleep time. Third, your choice of bedding and sleepwear has a more significant impact on recovery than most people realize. Heavy blankets, non-breathable synthetic materials, and overdressing for sleep can all trap heat and prevent your body from cooling effectively. Opt for breathable, moisture-wicking materials like bamboo, cotton, or linen. Consider a cooling mattress pad or pillow if you tend to sleep hot. Some people even benefit from sleeping with their feet uncovered, as the feet are one of the body's primary heat release points. Fourth, be strategic about exercise timing. While regular exercise improves sleep quality over the long term, intense workouts raise core body temperature for several hours afterward. If you train late in the evening, your body may still be in a heat-elevated state when you try to sleep, preventing the temperature drop necessary for deep sleep. If evening workouts are unavoidable, focus on cooling down afterward with light stretching, hydration, and a cool shower. The beauty of temperature optimization is that it's completely free and can produce noticeable improvements in sleep quality within just a few nights. When your body can cool effectively and maintain the proper temperature patterns throughout the night, you naturally spend more time in the deep sleep stages where growth hormone peaks, muscle protein synthesis occurs, and true recovery happens. Many people who implement these temperature strategies report not just better sleep, but more defined muscle tone, improved workout performance, enhanced cognitive function, and greater overall energy. This isn't surprising when you understand that temperature regulation is fundamental to every aspect of sleep quality and recovery. When you optimize this one variable, everything else, hormone production, muscle repair, brain detoxification, functions more effectively. Your 7-day challenge and the science-based protocol that changes everything. Now that you understand the intricate relationships between nutrition timing, hormone optimization, sleep architecture, and recovery, it's time to put this knowledge into action with a specific science-based protocol that you can implement immediately. This isn't about making dramatic lifestyle changes overnight. It's about making precise adjustments that work with your body's natural biology to unlock better sleep, enhance muscle growth, and improve daily performance. The challenge is elegantly simple yet profoundly effective. For the next 7 days, stop eating 2 to 3 hours before your planned bedtime. No late-night snacks, no protein shakes, no alcohol, just water, herbal tea if desired, and the optimal environment for your body to shift into its most anabolic state. This single change addresses virtually every sleep and recovery disruption we've discussed. It allows insulin levels to normalize, creates the fasted state necessary for growth hormone release, prevents late-night blood sugar fluctuations, supports natural temperature regulation, and aligns your circadian rhythms. But to maximize the benefits of this challenge, let's create a comprehensive evening protocol that addresses all the factors we've covered. 2 to 3 hours before bed, finish your last meal of the day. This meal should be balanced and satisfying. You're not restricting calories or going hungry, just timing your intake to support rather than disrupt your recovery processes. Focus on lean protein, fibrous vegetables, and moderate amounts of healthy fats. Avoid high glycemic carbohydrates, large amounts of saturated fat, and excessive portions that require significant digestive energy. 1 to 2 hours before bed, if you find yourself genuinely hungry, not just bored or stressed, you can have a small serving of casein protein, cottage cheese, or bone broth. Keep this minimal, 20-30 grams of slow digesting protein maximum. This provides amino acids for overnight muscle maintenance without significantly impacting insulin or sleep quality. If you prefer herbal tea, choose options like chamomile, passion flower, or rooibos that actively support relaxation and sleep onset. During this pre-sleep window, also implement the temperature optimization strategies we discussed. Dim the lights in your home to support melatonin production. Take a hot shower or bath 1-2 hours before sleep to trigger the natural cooling response. Prepare your bedroom environment. Temperature between 60-67 degrees, breathable bedding, minimal clothing, and perhaps even leaving your feet uncovered to enhance heat release. Eliminate all screens or use blue light filtering glasses during this time, as the light exposure can suppress melatonin and delay sleep onset. Instead, engage in relaxing activities like reading, gentle stretching, meditation, or journaling. This isn't just about avoiding stimulation, it's about actively signaling to your nervous system that it's time to transition from daytime activity to nighttime recovery. Throughout this challenge, pay careful attention to how you feel each morning. Notice your energy levels immediately upon waking. Do you feel refreshed and alert, or groggy and sluggish? Observe your workout performance and recovery between sessions. Monitor your body composition and how your clothes fit, as many people notice subtle but meaningful changes in muscle definition and body fat distribution when they optimize their sleep and recovery. Track your hunger patterns and energy levels throughout the day. Many people find that when they stop eating late at night, they naturally wake up hungrier and have better appetite regulation during daytime hours. This is a positive sign that your circadian rhythms and metabolic hormones are becoming better synchronized. Also, pay attention to more subtle markers of improved recovery. How quickly do you fall asleep? Do you wake up frequently during the night or sleep more continuously? How is your mood and cognitive performance during the day? Are you less reliant on caffeine for energy? Do you experience fewer afternoon energy crashes? The power of this protocol lies not